For this bass study, we're going to learn some new ways and octaves to play for some basic notes, which I think we should all know. For example, pay attention for this. Here is D by fret number 12, the double dot, second string. A is also fret 12, directly above it. B for the B minor chord, fret 9 on the second string. F sharp is directly above it. G, as you should know, is a semitone or one fret up from F sharp. G is going to be fret 10 on the third. Back to D at fret 12. G fret 10 and A at fret 12. Now I want you to play this through with me before we drop to the octave, just to get to know where these notes are, and then we can compare and hear the difference. And the study, if you haven't got it by now, is Canon in D by pt1. There we go, folks. You will have a backtrack to practice along with as well. And D, A, B for the B minor, F sharp for the F sharp minor, G, D, G again, and A. And there you go, that's the beginning. Now, that's the octave higher, and the reason I wanted to get that behind us is because we don't always realize that we've got octaves or what octaves are and where we can find them. I think most of us times, as a bass player, we end up playing in the lower register over here. Now, move the coffee out the way, okay, and we're going to go for the lower octave this time, where we would normally find our notes. So you should know D is over here, A is over here, that's both fret 5, D on the third string, A on the fourth string. B for the B minor is going to be second fret, third string. F sharp for the F sharp minor, also second fret but top string, fourth string. Then G, as we said earlier, a semitone up, F sharp to G. You may use the second finger as well if you want to, not too fussy with that. Then we're going to go back to D, G again, and we end off with A. So we've got 5 notes, and what we've learned so far, to recap, is 2 different places to play this 8-bar progression. Okay, first of all the octave higher, and the lower one, which is going to go. That's the note sequence just for the first 4 bars. Now I want you to play it through with me. We're going to do it again, first the higher octave, and then we're going to play the lower octave, so you can just get to hear the notes, get to hear the pitch differences, and get familiar with where the notes are. So for those that are beginners, get to know where the notes are. If it means that you have to write down a bass guitar neck and pen in physically where D and A and the octaves are found, that would be a good idea. But let's play it through. And you do have 2 backtracks for this so far as well. One at 65 BPM and one at 75. Here we go. Going to start with a high octave first, D again. And A. There's your B minor, F sharp, semitone to G, back to D, G again, and A, and a nice slide down to, there's your lower pitch. Nice quick jump there, nice quick and accurate. Now, the goal over here is to get as much legato as possible, and for those that aren't familiar with legato, it means your notes ring for as long as possible. So this would be bad, because the notes aren't ringing. In fact, we call that staccato, which is the opposite of legato. We want nice, long, flowing notes, so you can have quick, accurate movements from the one note to the other note to get a nice, good technique. Okay. Now, once you've done step 1 on the PDF that's accompanied with this, so with this particular lesson, you've got the video that you're watching. You're going to have a PDF called Bass Canon D Study, and you're also going to have 2 backtracks. So you've got a lot of work to do here, a lot of fun to do. You're going to learn your bass notes, you can learn different rhythms. And now, step number 2. Now, step number 2, we can sort of put a bit of a thumb bass to it, which is quite a nice technique for those that are new to sort of slap technique. Just right at the sleeves here so it doesn't lie on the strings. Guys, watch it for that as well. I've seen once or twice in the past the guys are playing and they get dead notes and they don't realize that their sleeve's actually hanging at the back. This part of here sometimes hangs on the string. So if you're getting a dead note with a long sleeve, just watch out for that. Silly, but maybe useful tip. Okay, we can either go and thumb it like this, like we said. We can do it like that, which sounds pretty cool. And you'll notice there that I've accented the first and the third beat. Accent means I go louder, so it's 1. You can see the quiet in between. Okay, so we want to go loud, quiet, and it sounds quite cool. You get like a nice driving. And over there, I've actually intentionally put a bit of a pause over there to get that nice thumping sound. And if you want to, you can also pick it like this. And you'll notice over there, again, those little silent pauses. Now to get the silent pauses, watch this hand over here that's busy moving. Watch the hand relax and pressure. So to get the silence, what I'm going to do is I relax. So you can see the movement there. Watch the pinky. You can use your third finger as well. I don't really mind. I like using the third or fourth fingers because when I go to the B and the F sharp, it's a shorter jump to go from pinky to first than from first to jump all the way back. So the only reason why I'm using pinky or the ring finger for the 5th fret is because the following after the A being the B and the F sharp, it's an easier transition. It's less jump. Big jump, small jump. Okay, the less movement, the more accurate you can be, and it's all about accuracy. Now what I want to do now, every time you learn a new step, I want you to go back to the track and start all over again and try and play through the whole thing without making a mistake. That's the key over here. We don't want to make errors, because I read an interesting article the other day, one of my colleagues does, and it says, don't practice until you get it right. Practice until you can't get it wrong. Okay, now after that said, I'm going to probably make a mistake, but anyway, enough talking in. We're going to take it from the beginning. Step 1, high octave to the low octave, and then we're going to go through to the step 2, which I'm going to do the finger technique. Now, also quickly before I start, watch my thumb. You see my thumb hopping strings there? When I cross over, when I'm playing the 3rd string, you can see my thumb resting on the top string. When I go to the A, my thumb just jumps as it's almost an imaginary string, and for those that have 5-string basses, you will have a string more or less where my thumb is right now. Use it as a support. What I want to try and avoid is definitely this. I have seen 1 or 2 bass players, normally the first timers. Don't do that, okay? And don't open your hand too wide as well, because it's not natural, it's not comfortable. Keep your hand nice and relaxed. It also acts as a dampener, so as you cross strings, your thumb controls the string above the string you're playing. Okay, enough chatting, let's play through from the beginning. I'd like you to play with. I'm not going to talk this time through, but you should be able to hear the notes and play along with me. Here we go. Now, what I'm doing there by angling the bass forward is just to show you a better view of the technique for the damping technique as well, so we get it nice and strong, nice and accurate. Okay. Now the next step is step number 3. We're now going to break away from playing on the downbeat. So we're going to go away from 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1 and 2, 3 and 4. We're going away from that. We're going to change the beat to be something more like this. Use new rhythm, and we're going to add the 5th as well. When I say the 5th, we're not referring to the 5th fret, but the 5th note, which I'll explain shortly. New rhythm, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, so slow motion, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And you can see the pinky playing the 7 as in step 3's tab if you're looking at underneath the D. And again, I'm going to focus in to bring in my picking hand, and you can watch this thumb that's tapping there. Watching the thumb, watch its movement. See the thumb come down for the A. So put the 2, the D and the A together. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And when we go to the B minor, it's the same type of progression. There's your B, fret number 2, first finger, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and the F sharp, G. So the sequence runs the same. Now the reason why I said 5th is because if I took your major scale, your Do, Re, Mi, 1, 2, 3, 4. If I took that scale, and this is my starting note or my root note, and I counted 5 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The pinky's on the 5th note, so that's why I refer to that note as the 5th. Same as for the A. A would be here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Root note, and there's the 5th note in the major scale of the A. Okay. But anyway, I'm going to go back to the backtrack. I'm not going to take it the whole way through again. And I'm going to play through just this part. Remember, playing the whole way through is your work. Otherwise, you're going to watch too much of the video or get bored. Okay. I'm going to pick up at the last bar before going to step 3. And you can hear the rhythm now go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Here we go. Okay, we got that. Okay, now that's enough for this video. In the second one, the sequel to this, we're going to introduce your arpeggios, which will explain what they are and what they're all about in video number 2. Before we go there, and before you switch on that video, please get to know your notes, your goals, and what you've learned so far. That's D, octaves, different pitch, same note sound. Okay, this is A, that's A, octaves, same note, different pitch. Again, same with the B to the B and the F sharp to the F sharp. We need to get to know the names of the strings and the notes on the fretboard. I've seen some really good bass students playing really well, and they say, give me a C sharp, and they look at your blank and this happens. Yeah, they're frozen. Okay, that's C sharp, by the way. Okay, get to know your notes. I can't stress this enough, and for those who do know it, thank you, and thank you for your patience for letting me explain it again. Okay, see you video number 2. Take care.